How you doing? This is the Yang from wifeandwifeblog.com. So we're gonna do, well, Yen did the controversial parenting tag a couple days ago. So I decided I want to do it. So I'm gonna answer the same questions, some of the same questions. You can see my views on some controversial parenting subjects. And we got Yen off camera here. She's gonna ask me the questions. Okay, so just shoot.
The first question, pro-life or pro-choice?
Pro-life or pro-choice? I am pro-choice. Every woman has a right with her body to do what she feels is best for her and the baby. I don't feel it's anybody else's business, really. It's definitely not the government's business. So, yeah, I'm definitely pro-choice all the way.
What about adoption? Why can't they just give a baby up for adoption?
If they feel that's what's best that they need to do, then if the adoption's the best route, then that's fine. It's pro-choice, whatever the woman chooses to do.
So do you think Roe versus Wade should be overturned?
I'm not a law major. I don't know about that. I know what Roe versus Wade is, but I'm not a law. I'm economics. I'm not law.
Baby wearing.
Baby wearing. I am for baby wearing in the structured carriers, but you know, with the whole natural wrap thing, I mean, that looks cool, but I can't do it. My wife has trouble with it. She tried it a couple times, and the baby felt like he was gonna fall out or something. But I mean, if you know how to wrap your kid up like that, I mean, I think it's best for the child because they're close to you, they can hear your heartbeat, and I think it's more nurturing that way. So yes, the structure, I mean, baby wearing, I think, promotes healthy baby awareness or healthy baby development because they're close to the mother, they feel safe and nice and sound, and the skin to skin, well, the close contact, I think, promotes healthy development as well. So I'm all for baby wearing. I just can't do it. I do the structured carriers, but you know, having your baby close to you is a-okay.
Okay. And what about circumcision?
Circumcision.
Dun dun dun.
Honestly, this is one I actually changed courses on this. At first, I was definitely pro circumcision. Like everybody that I knew and that I associated with was like, yo, you gotta get it done. I mean, it looks weird without it. That's what people said. I've never seen an uncut one on an adult. I've seen the circumcised ones. I mean, that's the only things that I've seen. And I mean, it looks nice and neat, and you know, it's nice and trimmed up and nicely and everything. So I was definitely like, yo, you gotta get it. Plus, you know, people told me like, it's cleaner and you don't have to worry about STDs that much, which is not true. And you know, people say, oh, biblically, but I have my own thoughts on that. I won't get into right now, but that wasn't a factor for me. But then, you know, my wife started telling me about, you know, circumcision and researching it a little bit more because she really didn't want to get it done because she was just like, no, I don't want him to be hurt and this like major surgery when he's only a few hours old, he's gonna be crying, and what if something happens and they mess up and then you have to go back and you have to fix it and then mess up again and all that. So she was just didn't want it done at all. So I decided to compromise with her, and I actually looked up some stuff about it, and what I looked up is everything I basically thought was true that everybody told me was basically not. So it's not as common as you think outside of the United States. And I had a lot of people, like this one guy, one thing that made a big factor in one of my friends, he was actually born in Europe and lived over in Germany for a little bit, and he told me, you know, I'm uncut, and most of the people over there are uncut as well, and I don't have any problems. And I found out, you know, it's just, I don't know, a lot of stuff I thought, preconceived notions I thought about it were unfounded. So we decided, you know, I changed fence, changed sides, and now I'm not against it. You know, if that's what you want to do, again, it's circumcision choice, like pro-choice. Like, if you feel that's what you need to do for your child, then fine, go for it. If you feel it's best to keep them intact, keep them intact. So yeah, that's it for. If you feel that's the best thing to do for your son, then go for it.
Okay, and your thoughts on adoption?
Adoption. Adoption is a great thing, especially for people or families that are unable to procreate for whatever reason. Adoption is a great way to build your family and take on a child that maybe was, abandoned or came from like a rough home or something like that, to give that child a chance as well. So I think adoption benefits both ways. I wouldn't mind having an adopted child as well. Like, even though, my son isn't mine biologically, so I technically had to adopt him. But adopting a kid that's not Yin's as well, just out of our family, I wouldn't be opposed to that as well. So I'm cool with adoption.
Okay, and your take on baby piercing?
Baby piercing. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not either way. I mean, I grew up with little girls getting their ears pierced early. Like, that was the thing. My ears were pierced early. I had my ears pierced when I was, however many. I don't know how old I was, but I had my ears pierced early. A lot of my little cousins had their ears pierced early. So, one of my little cousins, he's a boy, and he had his ears pierced early. So, like, it looks cool, whatever. But I just think it hurts. Like, seeing a little baby getting their ears pierced is like the worst thing to me. Like, hearing them crying out in pain, and like just those alligator tears coming down their face and stuff like that. I feel kind of bad for the child and that doing that. So I don't think I could put my kid through that. No. So I guess for me, it's a no.
Okay.
For me it's a no.
And breast milk versus formula feeding.
Okay. For this one, I'm for breast milk as long as I'm not doing it. If I were to have a biological child, I would not breastfeed. I wouldn't do it. I just can't. Like, that just feels like, for me, it's like unnatural to me. Like, I can't. I don't have that personality or that thing, that motherly trait, I guess, yet, or something. I was told Yins to, like, if I have a kid, you're gonna have to like take some supplements or something so you can breastfeed my biological kid, because I don't think I can do it.
What about using donor breast milk, like from a milk bank?
Yeah, I mean, if it
Would you use that before using formula, or would you use formula?
I probably use formula first before a bank. I mean, I don't know what all that person been eating or drinking, or I don't know if they are alcoholic or if they're on is tested. I don't know. I don't know about that. So I'll probably do formula before I would use donated milk from my bank. Yeah, breast milk is preferred as long as I'm not doing it. If I had to do it, my baby would be on formula. If you couldn't supplement or do something.
Spanking?
Spanking? Spare the rod, spoil the child. No, I was brought up with the spare the rod, spoil the child philosophy. And I turned out great, a productive member of society. I don't act out. I've never been arrested, never been to jail. But I don't think I'll take it as far, maybe. As parents did sometimes. So I mean, with everything, there's a balance. I mean, you can't do it all the time, and then you can't not do anything. So spanking, yes, when it's deserved, I'll give them 3 tries. You mess up once, okay, I'll explain to you why. Don't do it anymore. You do it again, I'll tell you again. You do it again, then it's a spank. So how are we looking on time?
About 6 minutes left. Parents' thoughts on co-sleeping or bed sharing? Co-sleeping and bed sharing, I guess.
I didn't have an opinion on this one. But I do think, I don't want him, I don't think babies should be in the bed forever. Like, I think once they turn a year, it's like the equivalent of turning 18 when you're a teenager. When you're a baby, when you hit that year, it's time for you, start going and doing your own little thing. Yeah, because I miss sleeping next to my wife. Just being like able to just touch her or like some type of contact. But no, it's like I'm here on this side of the bed, Yen is like way over on this side of the bed, and you got Kate just laying all like this, all stretched out and kicking me in the head or whatever. That's cool for right now, but I think once a kid turns a year old, they should start learning a little bit of independence and being in their own room and start getting into their own thing. Okay,
schooling. Home versus public versus private versus charter or versus unschooling?
Definitely not unschooling. Definitely not. That episode of White Swap last night was crazy. But I've heard great things about homeschooling. And like with all the school shootings lately, I briefly thought about it too, because I don't want to send my kid to school and get shot up, but I don't know. I think probably, our kids will probably go to public school. I prefer them if we could afford it, private school. Just because I think they'll get more scholastic learning. I hope so, with the tuition that you pay for private school. But I don't know. I think that'll maybe like a mix, like maybe go to public and then go to private for some.
Okay, and vaccinations.
Vaccinations, delayed vaccinations I prefer for our family. Like with the traditional schedule, if you follow that timeline, a lot of those aren't really necessary. Depending on your situation, like if your kid stays at home the majority of the time and don't really go to daycare that much, then a lot of those are really not necessary. So just take your child's situation and I think make an informed decision on that. Don't just follow the traditional schedule just because it's in the book or just because everybody else does it. Really look at it and see, research which ones are necessary, which ones are not. But we chose to delay vaccinations.
Cry it out?
Cry it out? It depends. Not crying it out as far as, just putting them in the room and locking the door and closing the door and just not leaving them in there abandoned. But I think if you're trying to, if they need to get in a schedule, like if it's bedtime, they need to, cry a little bit. Like maybe I let them cry for maybe 30 minutes. And then after that, then I go get them. But I'm not a fan of just putting them in a room and letting them cry in there for hours. I'll go in there and pick them up and cuddle them up a little bit.
Okay. Cloth versus disposable.
How much time we got?
2 minutes.
Alright, cloth versus disposables. At first, I was totally disposables. Again, this is Yen's doing. She convinced me to join the cloth team. Primarily because of economic reasons. The cost savings are tremendous. Disposable diapers are extremely expensive. You just toss them in the trash afterwards, and the environment, there's waste spills, and I could get into that's a whole nother video. But yeah, I was disposable fan, but now after researching the environmental costs and eco costs, cloth diapers are best for our family.
Okay.
So, all right, so that's enough time for our questions, and see you next time.